Welcome back to the Obojima Podcast. My name is Jeremiah, and I am with Adam, and we are the writers of Obojima. And you're joining us for our weekly writers meeting, where we just jump in and talk about cool stuff that we want to put in the world of Obojima. We jam back and forth, make some cool ideas, make some dumb ideas, make some bad jokes when Ari's not around, and yeah.
He is the limiter on us. Mm-hmm. Like there is a boundary of good taste and excellence and that when he's not around,
it's gone.
Yeah, we're just roughshod.
He really is just.
He's the glue that holds he's like the strong nuclear force.
Yeah.
Without it, just like atomic chaos.
It's like we're a loaded handgun and Ari was the safety. We took a hammer and pin and knocked that thing right out.
Tink. It's fully automatic.
Today we're doing something a little different, and we are going to be talking about NPCs.
Yeah.
What are they? Where do they come from? What do they want with me?
Why are they here?
Why are they here?
Yeah.
No, we're just going to chat about NPCs. Instead of doing a specific location or a group of creatures or something like that, we're going to come up with cool NPC ideas that we will either drop into locations later down the line, or you can just use as like a freebie NPC to throw into your adventure in any capacity.
Yeah.
And so we're just gonna jump through and just come up with cool concepts. Now I have an idea.
Excellent. I love to start with a seed.
I have an idea
right.
for an NPC, and I don't know what this means. But I was thinking of a golem, like a stone or rubble golem. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's a rubble golem or if it's a stone golem. And they have a vending machine strapped to their back.
Oh, or stuck inside them?
Or stuck inside.
It's like they're a clay golem?
Oh, okay. Or stuck. Yeah, exactly. And they kind of like I imagine backpack straps almost.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then they stop and set it down, and they take off their backpack, and they stand next to it like with their hand on it, and they don't say a word. And then like some sort of spirit or animal, like maybe a cat, crawls from their bag or something like that, or there's like a mouse character or a snake.
Yeah.
And
Their
head opens up and they come out and go on top of the vending machine, and they're like, "Welcome for my wares." I don't know who this character is or what the idea of someone carrying a vending machine around like a mobile shop I thought was really interesting.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't but who are these people? What are these people?
Well,
what kind of spirit is it? Who's in charge? Is it the spirit or the golem?
I mean, it seems like when the golem is walking, the golem's in charge. But as soon as the golem stops and the spirit pops out, then it feels like the spirit's kind of the one running the show. Or it could be that the spirit is running the whole thing all the time, and then when they're in the golem, they're actually kind of controlling the golem. Maybe not physically, but then maybe they whelm it. And the golem actually whelms into life.
Ooh.
Oh.
What if the spirit's like an animal rather than a spirit? And like a cat, like an awakened cat or an awakened badger or something like that.
Yeah.
And they feel like they get no respect in the world. Oh. So they moonlight as this golem. So they maybe they never reveal themselves, and you can like, the golem doesn't have a mouth, so you can hear it talk, but it's really like the badger in a backpack or something like that, with like a slit so it can see out, and it's like talking at them.
And it just like speaks into like a megaphone or something like that, and it's like, that's fun because, it's like the golem's like, he's the badger made like bring me 3 carrots or something. And then you're like, wait a minute. You're not a golem. You're like a rabbit inside there. No, I'm not a rabbit. Like,
how dare you bring up the rabbit? I would never be a badger. I'd never be friends with a rabbit.
Never.
Those are food.
Yeah. Then, that's fun.
Yeah.
I dig that.
I think that's a cool character, but I don't know. Is there anything deeper to this? Like, what are they after? What does this NPC care about?
I mean, so
how are they making trinkets that go in there? Are they magical?
They have to restock it.
Yeah, how do they restock it?
So
are they buying from other? Are they kind of a ruffian who when they're not around, they like bully a young witch or wizard or something like that to get their goods?
Like Yeah, they're like Fagin and Oliver Twist, you know, like they have all these urchins that run out and steal stuff and bring it back.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Other badgers that aren't awakened?
Oh, that's dark.
Hold on. Are we making a raccoon badger crime gang?
Yeah.
The Badger Boys.
Well, maybe the badger is the crime boss and the raccoons are their goons.
Yeah, this is the plot of Ratatouille. No one wants you to know that. This is Ratatouille 2.
Yeah. When the rats can strike back.
Is it everywhere, everything everywhere all at once that has raccoonatouille? What is it? Raccacoonie. Oh, maybe it's just Raccacoonie, but it's running a golem.
Or it could be like Pompoko, where their territory is getting reduced, and so they're like, okay, now we're going to take a stand.
Oh, that's interesting.
It'd be like that. But I mean, Obojima doesn't they have tons of environment, so they're fine.
Yeah.
But I do like that it's sort of, they're a little bit nefarious, or they're bandits, which raccoons I think would be a kind of the classic little rogues.
Switch the badger to raccoons?
I think the badger
the badger's still the kingpin, if you will.
The awakened badger is the kingpin.
And then all the other raccoons are just under.
Yeah. Their thrall.
Wait, so I'm imagining this character, like the golem, like moving around, that sets it down and turns, and behind in like a conga line are like 6 raccoons who are all walking like with their hands on each other's backs, like in a straight line. Maybe they all have what are those, like old timey hobos would have them?
Like the handkerchief on the broom handle.
There's a name for that, right? Like a bandle. There has to be a name. There's a name for it.
I don't know. It's just like a bandana on a stick.
Yeah, that's it.
And the old bandana on a stick.
No, the old bandana on a stick. That's the one.
Yeah, they're just kind of like trucking along, and
So they go from town to town, and like
ripping stuff off.
Robs a bunch of stuff, and then sells it at the next town.
Yeah.
So you sell all of the goods from the town over, empty the vending machine, and then go to the next town.
Yeah.
I love this character.
Yeah. And so they stick it all in the vending machine and load it up.
Which means that it's not like magical goods. No. It's like, what would you like? And you look over and there's like a comb and like a melon, a bowl.
Yeah. Somebody's pet cat.
Yeah.
Sitting in there like, meh.
It's like a 1 in 20 chance that there's something good in there. Most of it's just junk.
Stuff that raccoons get.
Yeah.
Because what would they just go into trash cans and be like, oh, this looks good.
Yeah.
And maybe that's like the constant source of discussion among the badger, because the badger's awakened. So the badger knows, like, don't go into trash cans.
Yeah.
Like, just stay out of the trash, please. Just go into somebody's house and get the good stuff. And they're like, eh.
Yeah. And
the raccoons go, and then they're just like, trash. And then they go, and they, of course, bring back an eaten apple or something like that. And the badger's like, what am I going to do with this?
What am I going to do with this?
And the raccoon's just like,
I love it. I love this character.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's great.
Okay, hold on. I had other cool ideas. Let me see. Well, other cool ideas really just means ramblings, crazed ramblings of me like jotting down notes at like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. just barely awake. Okay. What do we have here? Man, that's not cool.
No, well, we can always make not cool stuff into cool stuff.
Well, literally makes no sense.
That's great. It might make sense to me.
Okay. It just says girl with pig mask.
All right.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
And then it says see screenshots. I don't know how.
How late did you write this?
There's no screenshots attached here.
It's like the 5 a.m. hallucinations.
Also, what am I Googling to find girl with
pig mask?
Girl with pig mask. I think if I remember what this is in reference to a Kim Jong-ji illustration.
Yeah.
Of a girl with like with a girl with a pig mask.
Yeah.
And I just saw that, was like, wow, that's really evocative and interesting.
Was she like in a trance, or was she like
No,
innocent?
No,
like,
she just looked like, well, it's Kim Jong-chi, so she's
Yeah.
like in the most like intricate pose in the
she's
world,
like floating
with the
in
crazy,
midair,
yeah, exactly.
Her pigtails. Like,
Yeah, but she has like it's like a pig snout. It's like almost like a what do you call those like masquerade masks, like something that the Phantom of the Opera would
so it's
have.
like
So it covers the top half, but it's the snout and ears and just the
fun.
pig face.
that feels like a magic item.
It does feel like a magic item.
Yeah. Well,
but it also could be a character.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wrote girl in pig mask.
It makes me think of, I mean, like anybody who's going to wear like that kind of mask is kind of taking on a superhero persona. Like they're going out to do deeds, or maybe they're helping. Maybe there's somebody who finds things because a pig has a great sense of smell. So it's like this girl, maybe a pig spirit has whelmed into the mask, and when she puts it on, then she gains like these powers, or she uses the spirit in the mask to kind of communicate with that person, like that spirit.
There's a interesting idea that your insight of them being like a vigilante kind of gave me, which is like, what if it's like a little girl, like a young woman, who's like maybe like, I don't know, like 13 or 14 or something, who won a pig mask at a festival, and it happens to be that when she puts on the pig mask, like she gains certain powers.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so now she's like, wanting to help people, but getting herself into really dangerous scenarios.
Oh, neat.
So it's like, you could see like, oh my gosh, imagine like a group of sheep dragons being chased by howlers, and she's like riding a motorcycle. It's like, you're 12. Leave these. What's going on?
Maybe there is, because I think like the idea that there is a spirit in the mask that could be kind of egging her on or something like that. Maybe like, we can do it, Becky, Yeah. And she's like, okay, let's go,
That's kind of cool. Like maybe she appears around a different like she's constantly traveling. She's like a 12-year-old girl that like travels on her own, and she's like always kind of like getting way too deep into crazy scenarios, and the adventurers have to pull her out of it. Like, what are you like? We're 60 feet under the ocean right now. Why are you here? Like in a cave, and she's like, seems like this person needed my help.
I'm looking for something.
Yeah.
She's kind of like irritated that you're even asking questions.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I love that character.
Yeah.
So cool. Like this pig spirit that assists her in some capacity, or at least maybe that's it. Maybe she has no powers, and this pig spirit's just keeping her safe. So she's like got the confidence of a 12-year-old girl who feels unstoppable. And like this pig spirit's doing everything you can. Like if you were to look into the spirit realm, you'd see like this pig spirit like running around like like trying to stop her from like getting hurt.
It's like the guardian angel.
Yeah. And so she's like, I don't know what I can do. I just do it. And she's like, I'm breathing underwater right now. And the pig spirit like
Bella, like trying to keep her alive. Yeah, she's kind of like a private investigator, vigilante.
She's like a fellow adventurer that does similar jobs and tasks and quests that the adventurers do, except she's by herself and she's 12.
It'd be like if Velma wasn't by herself
and had the extreme confidence.
Yeah. She's just like, we're gonna go.
We're gonna do it
out. Like, I'm following this mystery.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see what other random notes I've got, because I've got multiple. I've got other sections here.
I mean, have we done sort of like an Ent character, like an awakened tree?
I don't think so.
Or some kind of giant old tree that is either stationary in one location or wanders around and.
Yeah, I mean, there could be like I love me a good awakened tree. Big fan of the Deku tree from Legend of Zelda. Always super cool. That's like
really neat.
Both a location and a creature.
I also like a creature that's been around long enough that if you found it and you start talking to it and it opened up, it would tell you like maybe it's been around since the age of Nakadama and could could recount some of the battles, or something like that. Like where you can get a lore dump from this thing and kind of learn about like the deeper history of Obojima.
What about a Dawn Blossom tree?
Ooh.
Like a really old Dawn Blossom tree that's somehow been awakened.
Like the first one?
The first Dawn Blossom tree. Whoa.
That's cosmic, dude.
That's cosmic.
That's like Obojima original OG.
But here's the thing. How do you make an awakened tree interesting? And not interesting. Plenty of awakened trees are cool. But how do you make them unique? Because, living trees have been done in 1,000 different ways. Well, now, we've previously mentioned that, the concept of a glyph left by a Dara being put on a tree could awaken them. Like, there's this kind of strong nature for the glyph to be read and heard, that it like uproots the trees and awakens them.
What if this Dara, there was one of the original Dara, like one of the ones that came right after the first Dara.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the good one versus the bad one that's in the prison, the other on the previous podcast. But this good Dara, before they died, they departed their glyph and put it into this tree. And when they did it, it actually woke the tree up. Mm-hmm. And so that tree is actually one of those original Dara wandering around. And it's a Dawn Blossom.
Cool. So there's like a movie trope that you see often enough, which is like forgot my phone was there. Which you see often enough, which is like a player, a space in some sort of sci-fi setting, finds an android or finds a robot from a long time ago or something like that, and they only have certain information. Like they can only maybe they're broken and they can only recount certain bits of information, and they kind of repeat those things. Maybe some of their data has been corrupted, and so it's kind of disconnected. And so you could almost imagine that this Dara left this information because they thought it was important, and it awakened the tree. Maybe it was even their imparting glyph.
Yeah. And
it awakened the tree, like they're dying, and it awakened the tree. And the tree has existed and stays there. Like it hasn't, maybe it brought it to life, but it doesn't move. And it's staying there, but it's just deteriorating over time. And so when you talk to it, it has bits of information, but it's also like, it's almost like talking to your grandpa about like old stories. And like some of it's a bit sad when you talk to them, because you're like, Grandpa, tell me about this thing. And they're like, oh, me and Jimmy used to hang out at that place. I can't remember the name of it. And then but Jimmy, who's Jimmy again? And they kind of wander off and you're like, oh, Grandpa. It's like
bittersweet.
It's a little bittersweet. So maybe it's almost like the soul of the star is here, but it's been, this glyph is degraded over time, and so it's almost like the memory's there, but it's fading.
Feels like this NPC is like a quest in that you're trying to put it to rest or something like that,
or maybe restore it,
or you could restore it. Yeah, it could go the other way, So it's either you've got to do something to, I don't know, it's like go one direction or the other. Yeah. It's because it's fulfilling something. You're kind of seeing this creature or this entity at an in-between moment on a decline. And so it's either to complete the decline or to find its message, whatever its departing message is. You need to find that out to get it somehow. Maybe it had something unfinished business, or it needs to see something or someone before it goes. That could be the sad version. The other version is to, find something that restores its vigor.
There's another NPC that we could go a little villainous with that could kind of be cool. Is you could meet this maybe like an elf or something like that. Yeah. And they I don't know how you would do this reveal, but I think what would be really cool is they had all of these wood seals, or like a fuka, like talismans that cover their back, and maybe they're salesmen and they're like good luck charms or something like that, and they sell these good luck charms, and they're very happy-go-lucky and all of these things. But then there's like a little sinister side. You know, for some reason I'm imagining all these people as salesmen. I don't know. I keep on only giving salesmen as, but I'm imagining them wandering. Like, how would you interact with this person? And they could also have a shop set up somewhere. You know, they don't have to be wandering, but like this happy-go-lucky salesman, maybe even modeled after, you know, I'm imagining the Happy Mask salesman from Legend of Zelda, if you're familiar with that character in Majora's Mask at all, or he's a character that you meet in Ocarina of Time who sells a bunch of wooden masks that give you powers, and one of the things that he has is Majora's Mask, which then later ends up being one of the plot lines when the Skull Kids gets Majora's Mask, gets cursed, and it's this whole thing. Okay. He's eerie. The whole point is like he's constantly smiling. He's kind of creepy. He's just one of these characters that's like unsettling,
that you shouldn't buy anything from.
And so he sells these charms. Maybe he's like kind of good. People buy them. Maybe the charms really work. Yeah. And they're all made on these pieces of wood. And then a Dara character walks in and realizes that all of these charms have Dara glyphs on them. Oh. Like somehow this person is scalping these Dara glyphs and like removing them from trees and then making charms out of them.
I mean, is that guy outed instantly if there's a Dara person in the party?
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible, but maybe, I mean, the other thing that's kind of interesting is, you know, what if they're loved? What if they're loved within the town?
Or it could be that this guy chisels off Dara glyphs and then paints over the top of them. And so they don't look like Dara glyphs.
Yeah, but if you can't see them.
If you were to scrape off the paint, you would see the Dara glyph underneath, and you'd be like, "Hey, wait a minute,
what's going on?"
Like,
like maybe. Oh, that's interesting too, because then if they're painted over and you can't see them, and one of the Dara characters goes to grab one of them, they'd like all of a sudden get the imparting glyph, and they'd be like, "Whoa, what's going on right now?"
Yeah.
How come that just happened? And does it with another one, or like, oh my gosh, this person is taking these.
There's another thing of like this person selling these things, and then the things that you have that you know, that you're using over and over again, they're also spying on you.
Ooh, spooky.
Like it's like a little, there's like those, I'm thinking of like the well, probably like my iPhone, just like constantly listening to me.
I'm thinking of the government.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the government. I was thinking of the that scene in Lord of the Rings where the eyes come flying over, and everybody's like, "Go quick, hide! They're going to look at you." But then I was like, "Oh no, actually, it's more like my iPhone. That's just listening to me and taking all my data." But this thing they're giving to you, it's a little magic item. It works, but then it's also doing something in return. It's giving stuff back to this nefarious salesperson.
Yeah. Well, now let's pretend like we're gonna make a player character that's gonna go in the world. Like, don't think of the subclass. Think of the flavor of the character, and then how does that fit into the world? Because I think that's always an easy way, is just building a unique character and then seeing where they fit.
Yeah, like I just immediately thought of a barrel-chested happy chef who is like going around sampling all the great food of Obojima.
Okay.
How about that?
I dig it.
Okay.
So someone who goes and tries everything all across.
Yeah.
Wants to learn all the delicacies.
And maybe they are well known. Maybe they're like a sort of a celebrity, almost like food critic. And they're like, oh, you know, Jongo's coming to town. And like, you know, and all the restaurateurs are like freaking out. They're like, oh my gosh, we got to prepare our greatest stuff. And it's almost like kind of a mini festival. Like when Jongo comes into town, it's everybody's putting on their A game. Yeah. If they're not already doing it already.
But they're not like a dirtbag though.
No,
they're like great. Like
really
everyone
awesome.
loves them. And so if you do something and Jongo doesn't like it, it's like kind of sad. Like you, as a chef, you're
Jongo's
like,
oh. Like, and he's like, well, it's pretty good. You know, he's trying to like, he's not like Jongo wouldn't tell you it's crap, and that but
dang, I feel sad now thinking of Jongo not liking my food.
Yeah, I think most Obojima, like when you went to Japan, like, did you ever have a bad meal when you were in Japan?
I ate McDonald's once on
Well,
it, and that was a bad choice.
The McDo is not.
Yeah.
is not Yeah, but like other like if you just went to a little.
Yeah, it was great.
That was all great. Yeah, so I think Obojima is like that.
Yeah.
You know, every chef show that I've ever watched, because I love Anthony Bourdain and all those chef shows, like they're always like, there's not a bad place to eat in Japan that's authentic, you know, because it's just part of the culture. It's like food is like this thing you prepare. And I think Obojima is the same way. I think that everybody from the street vendor to like an actual wood, brick and mortar restaurant, it's going to be great. Yeah. So when Jongo comes through, it's just, I don't even know if he has a competition or not. He's just like, everybody's great. Like, I don't think he just says, good. You're a winner and you're a loser. I don't think he does that, but.
Do you think restaurants have signs outside that are like Jongo approved?
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, or like an illustration of Jongo with his signature, or he signs the wall, or yeah. Jongo ate here?
I like the idea of Jongo just like being personable enough that like you like fly by in the Gale Fields on like a broom or something, and you turn over to see that he's befriended like a group of howlers. Yeah. And they're like eating a meal together.
And nobody fights with Jongo.
Yeah. Like you don't mess with Jongo.
He has zero enemies. Yeah. Because food, everybody can relate to food.
Yeah. And he makes a good dish himself.
He makes like arguably one of the best dishes ever. And he can make it out of anything. Like he got some roots and he got some of this. Sure, Jongo can make it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And he just does it. And it's delicious. And like a howler's like, a tear comes down. Yeah. It's the best thing ever.
It's kind of like Jongo has the ability that Link has in Breath of the Wild, where he can put like steak and fruit together. But as long as there's more fruit, it just it makes a fruit skewer.
And everything's hopping in the wok. Yeah. He's kind of this weird Tom Bombadil kind of character. Mm-hmm. Like he's just magic. Like you're kind of like uncorruptible. Yeah. Maybe invulnerable. You could try to hit Jongo.
Maybe he's God. He could be. He could be God.
He could be Obojima.
Obojima,
yeah, just walking through. Yeah. And a restaurant could have a thing on the menu that's like, it got 4 Jongos.
4 Jongos.
This is a 4 Jongo dish.
This is a 4 Jongo dish.
Yeah, Jongo look at like the whole menu and try everything. Yeah. Because he can never be full. He's just always.
He's like a mythic character.
He is mythic.
People don't know. He's not spirit. He's not human.
Nope. Don't know what he is.
He's Jongo.
Nobody can define him.
I love this guy so much. I love Jongo to death.
I want to see the illo of Jongo. Yeah.
I want Jongo in my life.
Yeah. Obojimans walk with like Jongo lives within us all.
Yeah.
Embrace your inner Jongo. Yeah. Yeah. He is a lover of life. Yeah. And just everything's the best day ever. There was a Zen like he wrote poems, and his name was Basho, and he wrote this one poem about like every cut of meat is the best cut of meat, but basically saying that this is your one moment, enjoy it to the fullest, like life doesn't get any better than this. And that's kind of Jongo. It's just like everything's a great day. If it could be raining, and he's just like, this is the best ever, like let's have a feast. Yeah. You're like, Jongo, you're awesome.
Jongo. I like the idea of a fight, like a conflict happening between like the postal knights and maybe like the harpies or something like that. And Jongo like rolls through, and all of a sudden everyone stops and looks over, and Jongo like sits down and makes a meal, and like they all like yeah. Okay. They all like stop and sit on opposite ends, and Jongo makes them all food, and he doesn't say a thing. Nope. And they all eat, and then he gets up and leaves, and they all just go in a different direction.
Just like, okay.
Like I love it. I love Jongo.
Yeah.
I love Jongo to death. He's the best.
I mean, interestingly enough, like Anthony Bourdain, like in the show, he's like, there's no better way to get people together than around food. He's just like, you can get like warring factions, and just like you prepare a really good meal. And that just kind of like you get to know everybody by, sharing food together. And I think that is, the epitome is Jongo. Yeah. Like he can diffuse any situation. Like the harpies will be like, and then they're like, I guess we're kind of, it smells good, like.
I'd be intrigued to see Hakumon's interaction with Jongo.
Oh, whoa. I mean, maybe that's the only chef that Hakumon's like, oh no, this is the master.
Or maybe they're old friends.
Oh, I like that.
Maybe Jongo comes and sit down and like everyone like reveres Jongo, and then Hakumon's like, hey. And they like sit down and it's all of a sudden more casual.
Yeah.
Like you'd almost imagine them talking and like everyone else is like on this side, like on the wall, like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're old pals. And then I guess Chisui would also be one of those. Maybe, I don't know, Chisui and Jongo's relationship might be different.
I feel like Hakumon maybe isn't as impressed with Jongo, and it's more of like a respect, but he doesn't like, he doesn't idolize him. I feel like Chisui is almost more is always over the top with Jongo. Honorable Jongo.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining.
Thank you for gracing my
and like maybe Jongo's like, well, we'll see if your cookies are good this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, if Chisui had bad cookies one year, maybe that's why he got the Happy Joy cake.
Oh.
Jongo gave a bad review of his, and he's like, that destroyed him. We're building so much lore right now. People are like, what are you talking about?
I could see Chisui like locking himself in a room and just agonizing over like a month.
Chisui is the tea master who runs a tea house up in the land of hot water, and Hakumon is a ramen crafter and chef that has a shop in the Blackwater Wetlands.
Mm-hmm.
And those two have a relationship of sorts.
Yeah.
Okay. I love Jongo. Jongo's amazing. He's going in the book. I don't know where, but he's there. There was another idea I had, but I'm trying to remember what it was for a character. Jongo really just swept me off my feet.
He swept us all off here.
Oh wait, no, this was your character idea.
Oh.
Remember I was like, make a character. If you're going to make a character for yourself, Jongo started as the Happy Chef. Yeah. So who would I make as a character?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Just imagine. I'm
going to build a character in Obojima. I feel like I gravitate towards playing a kid because that feels like the most fun in Obojima, but we've done quite a few like kids. Maybe. Maybe like I feel like I would make someone whose whole personality is their motorbike.
Cool.
So it's like it's the tiniest little rinky-dink like motor, but he loves it. He loves it more than anything, and he rides it around. And like, I like the idea of like obviously this character might not be in combat because it's not, but I like the idea of like him riding it and it's stopping in the middle of combat and being like, no. And he like throws all his stuff down like, come on. And he like, maybe he's like, he doesn't know a lot of magic, which is why he can barely get it to work. So he like scrambles to try to like use the jolt cantrip. He's like, come on. And I love that. And he's a bad mechanic. Like he's just actively a bad mage and mechanic and is so bad at it, but he loves his bike so much. And so like, he's always like doing upgrades on it, which are like bad paint jobs or like a mirror. Like he's always looking for parts like, oh, I wonder if I could attach this to it.
Is this a bike that is whelmed by a spirit? And is the spirit kind of senile or something like that? Where it's like, hey, what? And he's like, go. The spirit's like, what?
No, I think it's just the jolt cantrip. I think maybe he'd be like, don't touch he doesn't want anyone to touch his bike. He's like, my baby, don't touch it. Don't get inside. What are you doing? What are you messing in there? Like a spirit gets inside and operates it for him. And he's like, no, it takes away the feeling. I don't want you controlling my bike, guys. This is mine.
It's like the difference between the like a gasoline powered car and an electric car.
Yeah.
Like, I just want the rumble of the engine.
Exactly.
With the sound.
So yeah, I could see him like exploring the island, going from different areas, trying to find bike parts or things like that.
Is he kind of like maybe starts like maybe there are groups of kids that have different versions of that, like he's sort of the head of like this sort of movement of kids like on mopeds and they have like little races or stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's possible. Kids on Mopeds is the sequel to the Kids on Bikes RPG.
That's right.
Obojimans on Mopeds.
Yeah. Obojima X games.
Yeah,
They're-
yeah, I could see it. I
They're
could
doing
see
jumps
like,
and flips and
yeah, I don't know. I just think that character is really fun.
yeah.
I like the idea of, I mean, whenever I play characters, I love being bad at things more than I like being good at things. So I really love like you're just not you're not cut out for this. You're not a good mechanic. You're not a good mage.
But he's got the
But
love.
you got the love.
He's got the love. It makes me think of like the early like 1950s hot rod. You know, they were always tricking out their jalopies.
Yeah.
And then they would have like road races and stuff, and you know, but the cars were always like blowing up or going on fire, you know. But these kids were passionate, you know.
Yeah.
They like love just tinkering and trying to fix up and make the perfect hot rod.
What if he's like obsessed with like all the upgrades, but they're all visual? So he never fixes it up very well. He's always like, look at this thing. I got like this cool fish tank on the back. What is that? The thing's wheel is broken.
Or he's found like some sort of neon sign, and he's like strapped it on the front.
Yeah, I dig that. I don't know what, like, yeah, maybe he's just like he's just another adventurer taking on quests to try to like get money. It kind of, again, to bring up Avatar for the 30th time, it's like the moment Sokka gets any cash, he buys himself a bag or a coin purse, or like he buys like just this extra not needed thing.
Is he kind of a character that you meet, and just because of his sort of undaunted like joy of tinkering, he becomes endearing? But because he is not adept at adventuring, he's always getting into trouble. So he kind of acts as somebody who like you've got to always bail out of dangerous situations, or he arrives at the wrong time and, you know, kind of throws a wrench into the works on, you know, your adventure. But because you love him, you know, you're just like, there he is again. It's like,
yeah, I feel like
kind of like one of those.
I feel like he maybe, I don't know if hot-headed is the right word, but maybe just like getting at, you know, he's at odds with other people or something like that. Or maybe he's a little touchy about like, maybe just is very touchy about his bike. So like if someone insults it, he's like, doesn't matter the size, he might like start a fight or something like that. Or,
those howlers, I'll pop them in the jaw.
I'll get him.
Yeah, how dare they like get in my bike?
Or maybe he's like kind of I like the idea of him doing trades where impromptu, without asking trades, where he's like, oh, I like your mirror on your car way better than mine, and he like takes his and cans it and then grabs it, and like that's always getting him in trouble because he just always wants an upgrade or something like that. Or like if he saw like you could imagine like there's like a hubcap or something, you know, stuck inside a giant rubble golem. You know, he's he pulls out his you know, a glove and a slingshot, and he's like, I'm gonna get it. And it's like, you are gonna die.
Yeah, or like, you know, he like the howlers grabbed something and he's like, it's in the middle, but I can get it.
I can get in there. I'll just distract him with my sweet moves.
With my silky move. And he goes,
oh, come on.
and then all the howlers like,
hold on. What? 1 minute, everyone.
Yeah. I got this.
I got that.
Yeah. It doesn't work. And then it's like,
and also for some reason I'm imagining it starting up like a lawnmower for some reason, where like you have to press the fuel pump and then
that's the great movie scene where, you know, just and then the monster's coming closer and closer.
He's no Jongo.
Well, who is? Who is? I mean,
who's our Lord and Savior, Jongo?
Even the hunter might be like,
well, that's Jongo.
Yeah, kind of perch and be like, that's pretty good.
So we came up with some cool characters, I feel like. I mean, you know, definitely ones worth fleshing out.
I think the thing I'm proudest of is that we took your pig mask girl, and because you're like this, and then we're like,
it did get lit somewhere good.
Great.
I love that pig mask character.
Yeah, I think she's cool.
I love the Golem character and Jongo. Who's the other person? The person with like making the talismans is kind of eerie and
creepy salesman.
Right.
And I love the badger that runs the raccoon thief ring.
Yeah.
And they're kind of not the greatest thieves. They do a pretty good job, but the badger is hopeful. And maybe the badger is like, if you've got a rogue in the party, the badger's like, hey, come here. Let me talk to you. You know,
hey, buddy.
The player goes over. And
you can have half.
Yeah.
Half of what?
Yeah. Get rid of these raccoons for me.
I hate them. I hate them all.
I hate these guys. They're amateurs.
It's amateur.
But you, I think we can do business.
Hey, is James talking to the statue right now?
Like,
No.
Are you a badger in there? What are you talking about?
Hey guys, there's a badger back here.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyways, with that being said, with our five NPCs for you to steal and throw in your game and or find later in other Obojima products, I think we're going to call this episode.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon places.
The Amazon Empire.
Catch us on Discord and Instagram and Facebook and other things like that. We'll be having new content very soon and other cool stuff. So look out on those platforms, and we will catch you all later.